Hello, welcome back to the final part of tonight's show. It's going swimmingly. What do you think?
I think it's going pretty well. It's a good 6.5 out of 10.
Do you think so?
Yeah, for us, for me particularly.
Please don't send in your reviews on this show. He's here for 2 weeks, lads. We're handing over to Adrian Martin now for some grub.
I love
Adrian.
the way you're looking for reviews.
We're not. We said specifically we're not. What are we having tonight? We're making cake, is it?
Yeah, so basically we're doing upside down cake, and I'm doing like an orange kind of version of it, but it's up to you entirely what type of fruit you want to use. I'm just going to show you the kind of starting process of this. So I'm using just little easy peelers, the small little oranges. You need about 4 of these. And what we do is, now you could use a lemon, you could use 2 lemons, or you could do you could use 2 large oranges, or you could use grapefruit. So it's on any type of citrus fruit really at all. And all you're doing is, with a serrated knife, is that you're giving them a little slice, like so. Now, all of this then pops into a little saucepan, and I just have in here, this is like what we call like stock syrup in restaurants, which just basically is equal amounts of water and sugar. So it's about 200 grams of water in here and 200 grams of sugar in here.
Okay.
And then you place this onto the heat, and you let that cook away for about 5 minutes until the orange becomes lovely and soft, and basically then the skin becomes like edible almost. Yeah. So I'll just show you what happens when it cools. So I have a bowl of it here, and it just cools, and it kind of becomes lovely and translucent in the bowl, but also it's like a lovely sticky kind of syrup that you get from this, and it's so delicious. And it's entirely up to you then what you want to do with this. So if you wanted to add like fresh thyme sprigs to that, to add like kind of like an earthy freshness, it's delicious as well. I'm going to keep it plain and simple. Now, that's the first part of the recipe. I'm going to show you then what you do with the tin. So I've just greased the tin.
Okay.
And all we do then is you get the little slices of the orange, and you place these all around. And it's like just mix and match, basically. If you wanted to do like half orange, half lemon, little bits of grapefruit, you know, kind of like you can change it up entirely, whichever way you like.
Okay.
And this is going to be the top of it then, is it?
Basically, yeah, the idea of this cake, Ray, actually came from the upside down tart, the tarte tatin, which was like made by total mistake. And they tried to like basically recreate it then with a sponge. So basically, you have your bottom layer of your cake. So you could do this with any type of, even Victoria's sponge, for instance, whatever you like yourself. Now I'm going to set that aside, and then you're just going to make your cake batter then to go with this. So I love kind of like, one of my favorite kind of sponges is like a frangipan, which I think would be too heavy for this. So we're going to take that and use the almond base, but also add a little bit of self-raising flour to give you that kind of lightness as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 225 grams of, I love your reaction.
Yeah,
so we have
no
225 grams.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
No. So we have 225 grams of butter and 225 grams of caster sugar in there.
Okay.
And what I would normally do at home is I would beat this with an electric whisk. So I would get in there with an electric whisk, and what you're looking for when you do this is pale, light, fluffy consistency, basically. So the butter will change color if you beat that at home for about 3 to 4 minutes, but we just don't have the time on live TV, unfortunately. So we'll just crack on with it. So basically what you do is you mix that until you get pale, light, fluffy consistency, and then we have 4 eggs. So normally at home, you add in 1 egg at a time to stop the mixture from splitting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack everything in here. So just picture you have 1 at a time mixed in.
Okay, one, then do a bit of mixing, then another.
I love the way he's like, it's your fault.
If you've got the Kenwood or whatever, the big mixie, that's what you'd be doing.
Yeah, but if he gets any crap, he's like, it's the 6 o'clock show's fault. It's not my fault.
I'm under pressure.
Because I was on the telly, I wouldn't normally do this. You have given your disclaimer. We love it.
I have basically. No, actually, I can show you, because like you can fix this if it becomes a mess. If you do this normally at home, if you crack everything in, what happens is this, all right? You end up with an absolute mess. You end up with something that's like scrambled egg, basically. And the way to bring that back is that you get a teaspoon of flour. I just added it.
Okay,
and basically it stops the mixture from. Yeah, it basically stops the mixture from curdling and ending up like scrambled eggs, basically.
Oh.
But the idea of adding 1 egg in at a time is you're whisking in, it's becoming lovely and light and fluffy and aerated. That's kind of the idea of the 1 egg at a time thing. Now, that's in. We have then the ground almonds straight in. like so. And then we have, so that's just 50 grams of ground almonds, and then we have 175 grams of the self-raising flour straight in as well.
Okay.
And then you just literally mix. So this is called folding as well, right? Okay, so folding is just basically getting nice, aerated, lovely lightness, like trying to keep everything together here as well, all right, when you're baking.
I know that. I don't know why I'm getting the...
I really enjoy that you're the one who's the bad person in the kitchen tonight. I'm enjoying this entirely.
Basically, Ray sent me I think it was a direct message on Twitter a couple of years ago, and he was like, "I'm making a cake for the wife. Send me on a recipe." And then he sent me a picture of it, and it was like flat as a pancake.
I beg your pardon. How bloody dare you? I think that cake turned out great.
Kate Foley, Ray owes you another cake. He owes you a cake, my friend.
Now, so basically, we have then a light batter, like so. Which is nice and look, it still works if you mix everything in like so as well.
Yeah.
The idea of this is if this is too thick for you, we add in a little bit of milk, and it'll help lighten it as well for you if it's too thick. And then what we do is you go straight on.
Beautiful. With
your batter. There you go. And this goes into the oven, 180 degrees, and we go in for 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then literally just mix around. Okay, so just be careful you don't move everything around too much on underneath, and that will even out nicely for you. Now that goes into the oven, and then you get something like this. Okay, so let this cool. It's important to leave this thing to cool basically once you're done. And now what we do is we tip out the cake.
Okay, so don't do it right away.
Adrian's cake isn't flat. It's looking lovely, Adrian.
Don't you bring my cake into this.
Well done.
Does it look good?
Flat cake.
So yeah, the idea is let this cool. If you do not let this cool, it ends up an absolute mess. And what you do is, all right, I would recommend a plate. Actually, you can do it in your hand if you like as well. Get a plate, place the plate here, and then flip it upside down, like so.
Okay.
Oh, the cake is upside down. Because I thought the young fella was going to be upside down. Can you do a handstand there for us, Adrian?
And look at it.
Go on.
And there you go. Look, your oranges and everything go in. Now, I finish mine with like a glaze, so I just like a little bit of honey on there as well. Yeah. And then you just glaze it on. And think of it, fresh cream, lovely bit of orange cake. So look, the glaze is what makes it, I think. It just gives it the lovely shine at the end.
Lovely cup of tea.
What did you do with that juice from the beginning? Can you use that? Could you kind of to drizzle over it, or could you thicken that up?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, great. Here's the juice from the beginning as well. That's a really good idea. Actually, I never thought of that. There you go.
Just stick with me, kid. You learn a few tips, I tell you. Cake making tips.
Ray, the master maker.
That looks.
Okay.
So. But what? Sorry. Right. Anyway, I love your kitchen. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You can find out the recipe on our Facebook page, or you can rewatch on YouTube. Just search for VMTV.
Adrian Martin, thank you so much. As always, looks amazing.
Lovely, thank you.
Cup of tea with that. Look at him go. We're at it.